Now begins the recitation of the Aletheon, the divine avataric self-revelation of his divine presence, Avatar Adida Samraj. First word, the divine avataric self-disclosure. The divine avataric self-disclosure. 1. Aham Da Asmi. Beloved, I am Da, the one and only and self-evidently divine person of reality itself, divinely avatarically self-revealed to you. 2. Therefore listen to me and behold me as I speak. 3. This is my divine heart secret, the supreme word of my divine avataric self-revelation. 4. Here and now, I will tell you what will benefit you the most because I love you. 5. I am the divine avataric world teacher, Adida Samraj, the avataric self-incarnation and the self-evidently divine person of the one and only and intrinsically egoless self-nature, self-condition, source condition, self-state, and conscious light of all and all. 6. Here I am, in person, to offer to you and to all the only by me revealed and given radical, or always at the root, and avatarically all completing, divine, devotional, and transcendental spiritual reality way of Adidam, or Adidam Ruchiradam, which is the one and only by me revealed and by me given, and only me revealing, divine, devotional, and transcendental spiritual reality way of the bright, and which is the reality way of the one and only and intrinsically indivisible and intrinsically egoless and self-evidently divine transcendental spiritual conscious light of reality itself, and which is the all and all transcending and radically and intrinsically and always priorly ego transcending reality way of devotionally me recognizing and devotionally to me responding, locating and knowing of my divinely avatarically self-manifested divine and not merely cosmic and perfectly divinely avatarically self-revealing transcending spiritual grace. 7. If you turn by heart and whole bodily to me, and if, by relinquishing your ego I and surrendering your self-contracted body-mind self to me, you make yourself a living gift to me, and if you thus constantly yield yourself to me through true devotional recognition response to me, constantly, searchlessly beholding me, and constantly, truly listening to me, and constantly practicing right life obedience to me, and constantly activating ego transcending service to me, then you will locate me truly and know me perfectly and realize me completely and come to me eternally. I promise you this because I love you. 8. Abandon the reactive reflex of self-contraction, the separative or egoic principle in all your concerns. Do not cling to any experience that may be sought and even attained as a result of desire or the presumption of difference. Abandon your search for what may be gotten as a result of the various kinds of strategic or egoic action. 9. I am transcendental, spiritual, and self-evidently divine, love bliss itself, now and forever hereafter, brightly present here as perfectly egoless, perfectly indivisible, and perfectly acausal conscious light. Therefore I say to you, abandon all seeking by always searchlessly beholding me and perfectly and intrinsically egolessly knowing me. 10. Instead of seeking me, as if my divine person of transcendental spiritual love bliss were absent from you, always commune with me, ever present, never absent, and always love bliss full. Thus, you're always directly and tacitly me locating relinquishment of all seeking is not itself to be merely another form of seeking. 11. If you always locate me and know me, and thus immediately behold me, you will not in any moment self-contract into the mood and strategy of inaction. 12. You must never fail to act. Every moment of your life requires your particular right life action. Indeed, the living body-mind self is itself action. Therefore, be ordinary, by always allowing the body-mind self its necessity of right action and inevitable change. 13. Perform every act as an intrinsically ego-transcending act of whole bodily participatory devotional communion with me, in body-mind surrendering recognition response to me. 14. Always discipline all your acts by only engaging in action that is appropriate for one who is always whole bodily surrendered to me, and who acts only and always rightly in accordance with my always explicit word of instruction. 15. Therefore, be my always listening to me devotee, and thus always live right life according to my word, and this always by means of active devotional recognition response to me, and while always remembering and invoking and deeply beholding me. In this manner, perform every act as a form of direct and present and whole bodily or total psychophysical and really ego-surrendering devotional communion with me. 16. If you constantly devotionally commune with me, and thus and thereby whole bodily forget your ego I of self-contraction, where is doubt and anxious living? If you live whole bodily forget your separate and separative self in me now, even anger, sorrow, and fear are gone. When you abide in whole bodily devotional communion with me, the natural result of your various activities no longer have power to separate or distract you from me, and thus from my own state and blessing power. 17. The ego I that is conditionally configured as a body-mind self in the realm of cosmic nature or the conditional worlds of action and experience advances from childhood to adulthood, old age, and death, while egoically self-identified with the same, but always changing complex of body-mind. Then the same conditionally causative error of ego I becomes configured as a subsequent body-mind complex as a self-caused result. one whose heart is always whole bodily, responsively given to me, overcomes, thereby, every tendency to self-contract from and thus and thereby to self-perpetuate this terribly wonderful, ordinary, and non-necessary process. 18. The conditionally apparent world process of everything changing is simply the natural play of cosmic life, in which the always two sides of every possibility come and go, in cycles of appearance and disappearance. Winter's cold alternates with summer's heat. Pain, likewise, follows every pleasure. Every appearance is inevitably followed by its disappearance. There is no permanent experience in the realm of cosmic nature. One whose bodily devotion to me is constant simply allows all of this to be so. Therefore, one who truly listens to me and knows me spontaneously ceases to add self-contraction, and thus conditional experience causing energy and intention to this relentless round of natural and futile changes. 19. Transcendental, spiritual, and self-evidently divine love bliss is egoless self-realization of that which is always already the one and only case. 20. I am that which is always already the one and only case. 21. Transcendental, spiritual, and self-evidently divine love bliss is intrinsically egoless self-realization of me. 22. Intrinsically egoless self-realization of me is possible only when a living being or body-mind self has whole bodily ceased to react to the always changing imposition of cosmic nature. 23. The body-mind complex of my true devotee is constantly steadied in me by means of always constant and whole bodily devotional recognition response to me. 24. When my true devotee truly and fully knows that the alternative cycle of changes, both positive and negative, is inevitable in the body-mind complex and in all the conditional worlds, the living body-mind self or psychophysical ego I of my true devotee has understood itself and has thus heard me. 25. The body-mind self that constantly understands itself by constantly surrendering to me and whole bodily communing with me no longer self-contracts from my self-bright state of egoless, transcendental, spiritual, and self-evidently divine love bliss. 26. Those who perfectly know me tacitly understand that whatever is not always already or eternally self-existing and self-radiant only changes. 27. Those who perfectly know me acknowledge tacitly and with every whole bodily act that what is always already the one and only case never changes. (28) Such true devotees of mine who perfectly know me, perfectly realize that the entire cosmic realm of change, and even the to me surrendered whole body itself, is eternally pervaded by me, always self-revealed as that which is, always already the case. 29. Now and forever hereafter, I am divinely, avatarically self-revealed, prior to and beyond the cosmic happen of changes, bright behind and above the to me surrendered whole body of my every true devotee. 30. I am the eternally self-existing, self-radiantly, all and all-pervading, transcendental spiritual, intrinsically egoless, perfectly subjective, perfectly indivisible, perfectly non-separate, perfectly acausal, inherently perfect, and self-evidently divine self-nature, self-condition, source condition, and self-state of all apparently separate or self-deluded selves. 31. My divine transcendental spiritual power of avataric self-revelation is now and forever hereafter descending into the cosmic domain and into the whole bodily circle of every to me true devotee of mine. 32. I am the divinely avataric self-emerging, universal all and all pervading divine transcendental spiritual power and egoless person or self-nature, self-condition, and self-state of love bliss, always perfectly acausally mastering and transcending the primal energy of cosmic nature. 33. I am the one and indivisible, bright, divine, and perfectly egoless person that is reality itself. 34. Now and forever hereafter, my ever descending and ever emerging transcendental spiritual current of self-existing and self-radiant love bliss is divinely, avatarically, and perfectly egolessly, and perfectly acausally, and perfectly indivisibly pervading the ever-changing realm of cosmic nature. 35. I am, now and forever hereafter, self-manifesting as the one and indivisibly bright, and intrinsically egoless, and perfectly acausal, and self-evidently divine self-nature, self-condition, source condition, and self-state of all and all, within whom every pattern of body-mind is conditionally arising as a mere and non-necessary and merely temporary appearance that merely apparently modifies me. 36. I am to be realized by means of searchless devotional beholding of me, whereby every action is responsively, whole bodily engaged, as intrinsically ego-transcending present time and always direct communion with me. 37. Those who do not devotionally recognize me and devotionally respond to me, and who therefore are without faith in me, do not and cannot realize me. Therefore, they, by means of their own self-contraction from me, remain ego-bound to the realm of cosmic nature and to the ever-changing round of conditional knowledge and temporary experience, and to the ceaselessly repetitive cycles of birth and search and loss and death. 38. Such faithless beings constantly refuse and fail to be distracted by me, because they are entirely distracted by themselves. They are like Narcissus, the myth of ego, at his pond. Their merely self-reflecting minds are like a mirror in a dead man's hand. Their tiny hearts are like a boundless desert, where the mirage of separate self is ceaselessly admired, and the true water of my constant, transcendental spiritual presence stands unnoticed in the droughty heap and countless sands of ceaseless thoughts. If only they would unthink themselves in me, these now faithless little hearts could have immediate access to the true water of my true heart, through devotional turning of body, emotion, mind, breath, and all of separate self to me. Even Narcissus could find the way to my oasis in the true heart's room and house. But no, and yet, the thinking mind of Ego I is never bathed in light, and so it sits unwashed, like a desert dog that wanders in a herd of flies. 39. The unwashed dog of self-contracted body-mind does not think to notice me, the divine avataric master of its wild heart and wilderness. 40. The wandering dog of Ego I does not locate me in my inherent bright perfection, the divine avataric master of everything, the intrinsically egoless divine true heart of all conditionally manifested beings, and the non-separate and indivisible transcendental spiritual and self-evidently divine self-nature, self-condition, source condition, and self-state of all and all. 41. If Narcissus will relent and heart consent to bow and live in whole bodily participatory devotional communion with me, constantly to me, responsively, surrendering all of body, mind, self to me by means of uncontracting devotion to me, then, even if that true devotion is shown with nothing more than the little gift of Ego I itself, I will always accept the offering with open arms of transcendental spiritual love, bliss, love, always offering my own divine immensity in bright return. 42. Therefore, whoever is given by heart to me will be washed from head to toe by all the true water of my transcendental spiritual love bliss light that always crashes down on all and all below my blessing feet. 43. My circumstance and situation is at the heart of all beings, where I am now and forever hereafter, divinely, avatarically, self-emerging as the one and all, outshining divine and only person, divinely avatarically self-manifested as the perfectly non-dual brightness, a love bliss full and all filling, transcendental spiritual conscious light, self-existing and self-radiant as the intrinsically egoless and perfectly subjective root reality, which is intrinsically egoless tacit self-apprehension of transcendental spiritual, perfectly non-conditional, perfectly indivisible, perfectly acausal, and self-evidently divine being. 44. The true root place, where I am to be constantly self-located by my true devotee, is in and perfectly prior to the right side of the bodily apparent heart, where the ever-changing changes of waking, dreaming, and sleeping experience become first apparent, and there and thereupon, and in that merely apparent conditional context, are merely witnessed, or tacitly observed, and not sought or found or held. 45. Every conditional experience appears and disappears in front of the witness heart of tacit and intrinsically egoless, transcendental, spiritual self-awareness itself. 46. Everything merely witnessed or tacitly and merely observed is spontaneously evidenced upon the egoless mirror of the universal cosmic energy. 47. The self-contracted ego heart of body-mind self is fastened to the wheel of change and death that is the perpetual motion machine of cosmic nature. 48. I am the divine and one true heart itself, always already existing as the eternally self-evident, transcendental spiritual love bliss current of being, and always already freestanding as the one and indivisible and self-evidently divine conscious light itself, perfectly prior to the little heart of ego I and its seeming helplessness. 49. In order to restore all beings to the one true heart of me, I am divinely avatarically born to here as the bright divine help of conditionally manifested beings. 50. Therefore, now and forever hereafter, I am always freestanding at the to me true heart and root of you, and I am always transcendentally spiritually self-bright, above and beyond your body, mind, and world. 51. If you become my true devotee, searchlessly beholding my avatarically born bodily human divine form, and on that basis, searchlessly responding singingly with all the parts of your whole body to my avatarically self-revealing transcendental spiritual and self-evidently divine presence and state, you will always be able to know me with your uncontracting in me falling heart, and you will always be able to locate me as I crash down transcendentally, spiritually all bright upon you from infinitely above and beyond the worlds of change. 52. The intrinsically egoless in me falling heart of my every true devotee is, at its root and base and highest height, my divine and one true heart itself. 53. Therefore, fall awake in me. 54. Do not surrender your heart and body-mind merely to experience and know the ever-changing world. 55. Merely to experience and know the cosmic domain itself is to live and die like Narcissus, as if you were in love with your own body-mind self. 56. Therefore, whole bodily surrender your only to me, your heart only to me, the true divine beloved of all and all. 57. I am the reality truth and the divine avataric master of the whole body. 58. I am the divine and eternal avataric master of your heart and your to me surrendering whole body. 59. I am the self-existing, self-radiant, and inherently perfect person of non-conditional being, who pervades the machine of cosmic nature as the bright, divine, transcendental, spiritual current of love bliss, and who transcends all of cosmic nature as infinite self-conscious light, the spiritually self-bright, divine, and perfectly egoless, and perfectly indivisible, and perfectly acausal self-nature, self-condition, source condition, and self-state of all and all. 60. If you will constantly give your whole bodily attention to my avatarically born bodily human divine form, and if you will thus and thereby yield your body-mind self into the down-crashing love-bliss current of my avatarically self-transmitted and all-pervading divine transcendental spiritual presence, and if you will thus and thereby surrender your conditional self consciousness into my avatarically self-revealed and perfectly subjective and self-evidently divine self-consciousness, which is the divine true heart of intrinsically egoless being itself, then I will always become an offering to you. 61. By that offering of mine, you will be given the gift of perfect peace and an eternal domain for your to me given heart. 62. Now I have revealed to you the divine mystery and the perfect heart secret of my avataric birth to here. 63. Consider this me revelation fully, and then choose what you will do with your little gift of heart and your unwashed dog of body-mind. Here ends the recitation of the Aletheon, the divine avataric self-revelation of his divine presence, Avatar Adida Samraj.